Things in Westminster have been interesting this month. Much of the discussions in Parliament have focused on the forthcoming EU referendum, and I've taken the opportunity to ask both the Prime Minister and the Secretary of State for Scotland questions about how this will affect people in my area. I know that there are particular concerns from business, and I have taken that up with the Secretary of State for Scotland. My own position is that I believe that we absolutely benefit from being within the EU. I think that there are social, economic and business benefits, and I'll be campaigning for us to remain in. One of the things that I've been pushing forward again on this month is the issue of the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority. There are constituents here locally who've lost out significantly on the funds that they put aside for their retirement because there have been concerns with the Connaught Investment Fund. The FCA's job should really be to get to the bottom of these concerns and to sort things out for these people. They've not done it, and I'm going to continue to press to see what is going on with them, what the relationship is with the Treasury, and how we can move this forward for people. One of the other things that I've been working on at Westminster over the last few months is to do with WASPI. WASPI is the campaign for the equalisation of state pensions. It affects women who were born in the 1950s. Nobody argues against the idea of equalisation. We know that that has to happen, but these women have not received notice. Their lives have been changed by the fact that they can't retire, and it's causing huge problems for them and their families. So I've been able to bring this up in Parliament on a number of occasions, and I will continue to push for the government to listen and see sense on this really important issue. At Westminster, I've been involved in progressing a number of international issues over the last month. I have met with Nadia Murad, who is a Yazidi woman who has escaped from slavery. Daesh had imprisoned her and many other women from her local area, and were using them as sexual slaves and torturing them. I really applaud Nadia and her compatriots. They are incredibly brave and strong women, and anything that I can do to highlight what has happened to them and to press for action in terms of the Yazidi population, I will do. I was also fortunate to secure and lead a debate on the floor of the House of Commons about the situation in Yemen. Yemen is in the middle of a terrible conflict. The people there are starving and struggling. Many children are in dreadful conditions. And there are questions about the issues to do with Saudi Arabian forces bombing Yemen, and they are using British-bought bombs with British advice to do so. So it's something that I've been raising a number of times in Westminster, and I'm pleased to see that there is now some movement in the European Parliament in relation to this, and that the Commons Committee who deal with arms are now going to be looking at it. I would hope that we can see some sense prevail. I've also taken the opportunity to raise the issue of mission creep in Libya on a number of occasions. I think that if we are involved in military action, that should happen with the will of the House of Commons, and not having the House of Commons unaware that we are taking military action. In relation to armed forces and veterans, it's been another busy month. I was really pleased to meet the Royal Highland Fusiliers who visited Westminster, as well as representatives of our reserves and cadet forces. They're all doing great work. It was really interesting to learn about what they're doing and to hear about what their issues are, and I hope to meet many more representatives of these groups in future. One of the most positive meetings that I had was with the group called Blind Veterans UK. They're doing incredibly useful work with our veterans who've suffered from sight loss, and that all ties in very well with the new initiatives from the Scottish Government, who are continuing their very positive work supporting those who have been in the armed forces and who live in Scotland. And the final thing from me this month at Westminster was to see the government closing a loophole which affected military veterans suffering from mesothelioma. The government had agreed to change the law recently for veterans, which was really positive, but they had left out a crucial group of those veterans who had already been diagnosed at the time of the law change. After much pushing, they have now agreed to change this to make sure that these very ill men are not left out and that they will get the fair compensation they deserve.